Radiation. What is it? Have you ever wondered what radiation is or how it works? Do you remember a science fiction book or a movie about radioactive monsters? Perhaps you've seen a news report or a documentary about a real-world incident involving radiation. Are you a middle school or high school student interested in discovering more about physics and the world around you? Deep down, we are all scientists, and we want to understand our world. My name is Heath Lucas. I'm a health physicist and a math and science teacher. In this video, I will present a basic explanation of radiation. In its most fundamental sense, radiation is simply energy traveling from one point to another. It is fascinating, mysterious, and often misunderstood because we cannot see, smell, taste, or touch it. Health physics is the study of radiation and how it interacts with the environment as it travels. So, where does radiation come from? And what does it do? In general, radiation is everywhere, and humans interact with radiation every day. Radiation makes up an integral part of our world and occurs both naturally and in man-made applications. For example, if you are using a mobile phone or a Wi-Fi connection, you are using radio waves to communicate. This is a form of radiation known as non-ionizing. Okay, what? That's right. There are two broad classifications of radiation: ionizing and non-ionizing. Non-ionizing radiation is used mostly in communication devices, such as cell phones, radios, wireless internet, radar, and lasers. Yes, lasers. Non-ionizing radiation and ionizing radiation are fundamentally different in the way they interact with objects and tissue. Ionizing radiation refers to sources of radiation that are capable of ionizing cells. Recall from science class that ionization means that atoms gain a positive or negative charge. This means it can cause cell damage and has been linked to cancer, where non-ionizing radiation has not been linked to cancer. Wait, cancer? Yes, ionizing radiation is associated with cancer risk. As we said, these radiation sources are everywhere, and many of them occur naturally in the Earth's soil and rock. Others come from outer space, such as solar rays and cosmic particles. Health effects from exposure to natural radiation are typically not noticeable and considered to be negligible compared to other risks we face in everyday life. A large dose of radiation in a short period of time can cause negative health effects, such as sunburn. This is called an acute dose. In addition to natural radiation, there are also many man-made radiation sources, such as medical X-ray machines, cancer treatment devices, and nuclear energy stations. While these devices produce a greater amount of radiation than the natural world, they are designed and operated based on the principle of calculated risk. In other words, the benefit of using the devices outweighs the small risk. So, you might say, I still don't know what radiation is. Let's take a closer look. A radioactive element simply means it exists in an energetically unstable condition. Think of a large boulder resting on the side of a steep hill. This condition is energetically unstable and will eventually rearrange itself so that the boulder comes to rest in a more stable condition, that is, the bottom of the hill. This process could take days or billions of years, depending on the incline of the hill, the weight of the boulder, the texture of the soil, rain and wind, and so on. Remember that atoms are made up of neutrons, protons, and orbiting electrons. Like the unstable boulder on the hill, sometimes an atom's components are arranged in a way that is unstable. Unstable atoms can transform themselves by rearranging their atomic structure and releasing energy or particles, resulting in an atom that is more stable. Similar to the boulder analogy, this process can take a few seconds to billions of years, depending on the original atomic structure of the atom, the type of the element, and the type of particles it releases. Sometimes, when an unstable atom rearranges itself, it splits in half in a process called fission, which releases an enormous amount of energy. Capturing fission energy is the key to generating electrical energy that powers our world. Fission is also the key to building a nuclear bomb, but that is another lesson. So, does this guy exist? It's possible, but not due to radiation. Ionizing radiation can increase the risk of certain health effects, such as cancer and other genetic effects, but it cannot cause fictional mutations, such as lizard tails and monster feet. This video was a brief overview of where radiation comes from and what it does. You probably have more questions than answers at this point, but that's a good thing in science. I hope that you continue to seek knowledge in this subject. Thank you for watching.